After 3 of the most demanding rallies on the FIA calendar, the championship returned to Europe for round 4 and the Rally of Portugal, where the thick dust and huge crowds are only 2 of the hazards. The city of Porto on Portugal's west coast provided the picturesque backdrop to the rally, and the first of Leg 1's 10 stages saw head-to-head action, with the drivers competing against each other. The remainder of Leg 1 took the cars from Matosinhos and the outskirts of Porto east to Viseu. After a poor start to the season, all eyes were on the Subaru team. Colin McRae set off at a tremendous pace to pull out an early lead.
3 left minus, into turn slow 3 left half, 30.
Incredible lead you've pulled out in 4 stages. How did you do it?
Driving quicker than everyone else.
Despite podium finishes on all 3 rounds, Ford was still looking for their first victory of the year. Kankkunen was quickly on the pace and was in second place after stage 4. Ari Vatanen again deputised for the injured Bruno Thierry and made a steady start to line 9th. Sainz and Moya were third after stage 4, but Carlos wasn't happy.
Not so good for us. I don't think we can be very happy at the moment. I got no feeling at all with the car and it's very nervous.
Tommy Mäkinen, meanwhile, knew he had to do well after a non-finish in Kenya and was lying 4th, ahead of teammate Richard Burns. Despite leading after the first stage, Didier Auriol suffered gearbox problems and dropped out of the top 10. Piero Liatti had no real problems, but couldn't match his teammates' pace and ended the leg in 7th. As usual, the spectators were out in force for the Portuguese Rally. Freddie Loix was running a privateer Toyota for the first time, and a good day helped him to 5th place. Tommy Mäkinen had a steady day to bring his Mitsubishi home 4th. Sainz struggled with suspension and transmission problems, but recovered to end Leg 1 in 3rd. Kankkunen was still second after setting the fastest time on stage 8.
Opens to flat right. 100.
Fastest on 6 of the 10 stages, McRae's lead was comfortable, but there was concern about the Subaru's engine.
Now, the engineers seem to be looking closely at the engine tonight. Is there a problem?
There is certainly something wrong. It's not 100%. We'll find out more when they finish this service.
Leg 2 began just before dawn and saw the drivers tackling 10 special stages from Viseu back to Matosinhos. Mäkinen's day began well. He set the fastest time on the first stage, but the second was the Finn's last. Didier Auriol, meanwhile, continued to struggle with gearbox difficulties, and a spin cost the Frenchman 20 seconds.
The gearbox is damaged again, and we're just sort of deciding whether to continue. We'll have a look and see if it'll stay in some gears now. If it will, he'll continue. If it won't, that's it for him.
But Didier and Denis finally called it a day on stage 16. Despite McRae's concern about the Subaru, the Scot set the fastest time on the day's second stage.
Crest 50. Left over crest, keep out, and 3 left minus opens.
Have to go.
No 3Ks. Into 6 left over crest. What is it?
Puncture.
That puncture cost Colin time, but he still retained his lead.
We had a puncture and the EMI didn't work for some reason, so we lost 30 seconds.
Second overnight, Kankkunen pushed hard in the morning, but the Ford ran into trouble at service.
We will see if the car is still okay, because we have a little problem there in the diff now.
Those difficulties dropped him to 7th.
After this last agonal stage, there's a lot of oil on the sump guard. What's basically happened is that the pinion bearing on the front differential has collapsed, which means that if you continue, eventually the diff will seize. So we've decided to take all the shafts off and convert it to two-wheel drive.
Carlos Sainz finished the leg in third place after a hard-fought battle with Mitsubishi's Richard Burns, although he also suffered problems during the day.
Para uno, derecha rápidamente menos se cierra, después rasante. Para uno, izquierda buena más, se cierra. Me quiero morir. Izquierda buena más, se cierra, para rasante, derecha buena más.
Carlos and the team had expected more.
I have a problem in the last stage with the brake pipe, and the car was turning when braking only one wheel in the front when I was braking, so it was very difficult.
Burns, though, lost the battle with Sainz and finished the leg in fourth place.
The jump 100, 90 left plus.
But the sensation of the day was the Toyota Team Belgium car of Freddie Loix, who was fastest on the last 4 stages to move up to second place, only 11 seconds behind Colin McRae, who'd led all day in the Subaru.
Are you surprised that Freddie came on so fast, so late, and caught up to almost 11 seconds behind?
Yeah, I mean, Freddie wasn't a guy we were thinking of at the start, but I mean, yeah, fair dues to him, he was going really well.
We did today a long day and we had completely no problems with the car, and that's always helping.
Leg 3's 8 stages used many of the same roads as Leg 1, and on stage 21, the day's first, McRae threw down the challenge. He was second fastest and extended his lead over Loix by another 2.5 seconds. But the Belgian hit back, setting the fastest time on stage 24. Fabrizia Pons, Liati's co-driver, had lost her voice, but with the help of the Subaru doctor, she was back on song, helping Piero to 6th, while Ari Vatanen would finish 5th, Ford more than happy with their stand-in driver. Richard Burns in the sole remaining Mitsubishi was unable to catch the leading trio, and he finished the rally in 4th place. After his impressive drive, Freddie Loix finished 3rd, following gearbox problems. But the battle for first had now become a two-way fight between McRae and Sainz.
Carlos, incredible times on those last 3 stages. Where did you pull it from?
Well, we were trying. I said before that I was going to try until the last stage, and that's what I'm doing. 11 kilometers, 7 seconds. Colin McRae is not so easy to take it.
Can you hold him off?
At the moment, it doesn't look like it because it is a very similar surface to what we've been on, and there's nothing we can do.
With 1 stage to go, Colin and Carlos prepared themselves, but it was the Spaniard who'd have it all to do, and the spectators knew it, gathering for what looked like being a sensational stage. McRae is a hero in Portugal, and the fanatical spectators cheered him on through the 11-kilometre section. Sainz set off in pursuit.
50, 4 right minus over crest. 30k to right, okay.
Colin now had to wait for Carlos.
Seems that's enough.
Reports from Sainz's team suggested that halfway through the stage, he'd already taken 4 of the 7 seconds back. Carlos stopped the clock nearly 5 seconds faster than Colin, but it wasn't enough. McRae the winner by just over 2 seconds.
I was very confident this morning, and then up until the second last stage, then it was a bit doubtful, but I knew it was going to be close, but okay, you have to be confident.
Colin McRae and Nicky Grist could then celebrate one of the closest fought rounds of the World Rally Championship. Confirmation of the result, 2.1 seconds McRae's winning margin. Sainz's 100th championship event so nearly ended in victory, but it wasn't to be. The result, though, had enabled Sainz to open up a 6-point lead in the Drivers' Championship, while in the series for manufacturers, Mitsubishi and Toyota now shared the lead on 25 points.